Hey, we're back. Part two, talking with my mom about disc golf. Now that it's part two, I guess it's a series. We should probably find a name for this. I don't know what to call it. But
I don't
uh,
know.
but I
We'll have to
guess
see.
you've thrown your discs now. So
I have thrown my discs.
how'd it go?
Well, I did not lose any in the canal that's now full of water. That's a good thing.
That's good.
I probably did not throw them the speed they're intended to throw because I'm not throwing them probably real far.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm horrible at judging distance. I had to have my brother, your Uncle Ron. I go, okay, Uncle Ron, how far did I throw that? Because I'm just not good at it. So I'll get better at that. But they went the driver and the mid-range
The
one,
shark, yeah.
the shark. They went pretty straight, and then they would drop off to the left, and that's what they're intended to do.
Yeah, any right hand backhand throw will, unless it's a very understable disc, will fall off to the left at the end.
Yeah, and
So
I just made pretend baskets out of my trees that are out in the field, so that
yeah,
I'm
just
aiming
aiming
for
at the
like.
trees. But you threw
Well,
them in the.
I was aiming for the dirt around the trees. I don't want to hit the trees. I don't want to make my disc get all floppy on me, like you said. So I'm
Well,
trying
I
to.
mean, you got to hit a lot of trees at a very high speed for that to happen. I wouldn't worry
Oh,
about it.
I mean, I've got trees, but not like the trees you played in. I mean, I do have trees, but
Yeah,
because you know what trees I've got.
yeah.
Maybe next time I'll go outside and show you my little park that I get to practice
Oh,
in.
that'd be awesome. We shoot another video. Yeah, showing
Yeah.
the practice grounds.
And then I'll try to set up my cell phone somehow to be recording my throw so you can just tell me what I'm doing right or
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, we could do
So,
that. Yeah, but it
okay,
went
well,
the
that
direction you were intending.
do what?
The disc went the direction you wanted them to go on.
Yes. In fact, I wasn't taking a step. But then I thought, Uncle Ron was out there with me too, and he's all doing like 5 steps and slinging it and whatever. I told him he will subscribe because he needs to watch your beginner video. So I did it without taking any steps. I probably threw it for like, I don't know, probably threw it for like an hour. Did 4 different discs. And then I thought I'd try and take just the one step.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did watch the videos. I guess we'll go back to the videos. I watched the Latitude 64 where they talked about the two different grips, the power grip, and then the one guy called it the fan grip, and the other guy called it the, I don't know what he called. I think he just called it a four, like a four, like a forearm. I don't know. I like the name fan. It helps me
Yeah,
remember
no,
it.
it
And then the
makes
power
sense.
grip.
Yeah,
And then the other one I really liked, and I only watched two. I know there's more out there. Is the what was the other one? Foundation golf.
foundation.
Oh,
Yeah,
the episode 2 where it talks about the whole step by step of how to throw it, like how to stand and all. It showed every step. He talked, and then he had a friend like go through the motion. So that was really helpful.
okay, cool.
So I like that. I like that video, but I know there's a lot out there too. So,
Yeah, yeah. They
but
they
anyway,
have foundation. I think they have 5 or 6 for their basics ones, and then latitude may have a dozen or more.
yeah, I
Going through
didn't.
different aspects.
And then I scared myself and went and watched the pro disc one you told me to look at some of the shots they make. Oh, yeah, right. I don't ever see me throwing the one gigantically high. Is that Heiser or whatever? When it goes really high over the lake.
Oh, did you
And
watch Simon throw one of his crazy shots?
I watched. Whose video did I watch? I wrote down who I watched. No, it was. I forget who I watched, but it was crazy. I mean, they were going over the lake really high up, and then it lands like a foot from the basket.
Yeah,
And then the one shot was that course that we went to watch the professionals.
yeah. Maple
Or
Hill.
you
Yeah.
Okay, it was that course, and it was the last hole. The guy that was winning, they showed his last shot. I mean, he already won, but he made this amazing 18th hole, or not? I
Oh,
guess
was that
18th
when
hole.
James Conrad won?
I don't remember
The
the
guy with the
names.
long hair, the magnificent flowing
No,
hair. No, okay.
no, I don't remember flowing here. Anyway,
You would have remembered. He's my favorite.
okay,
He's my favorite disc golfer to
yeah,
watch.
it's amazing to see how they don't hit the trees. Anyway, so I watched those 2 videos, and then I went out and practiced my throwing, and I did pretty good, I thought. I mean, I'm not throwing it very far. Probably 100 feet was my longest, so that's not very far at all.
That's fine. It is if it's going the direction you want it to. That's the more important. I mean, it's like
Like
regular
what?
golf. Like if you hit it straight or you throw it straight, it's better than long and off in the middle of nowhere or out of bounds or something.
So on a course, like what's the typical length of a hole? I mean, no, they vary, but like
So unlike, so the big difference in disc golf is that most holes are par threes in disc golf on
Okay.
most courses, unlike regular ball golf where most holes are par fours. And I would say par threes are typically it depends on the course. Some are set up, they're trying to get like the long, they're trying to be more advanced courses. Some are set up to be more basic. On a basic course, your par threes may, from the front tees, maybe like 150 to 250 feet.
Oh, so throwing 100 feet's not bad then. I
Well,
mean,
it's not bad.
okay. Okay, I
Um,
thought maybe taking like 10 shots if I'm not throwing it very
no,
far. So.
no. I mean, you'll probably, if as long as you're not hitting anything, you should be able to get to an easier par three and two shot, get it up to the near the basket at least. Um,
So I
and
know a
then
little,
par threes, I mean, I the courses I'm playing, they're around like 250 to 350 feet.
Okay.
250 to 350 feet. Pro courses, so like the ones they're playing, are typically like 300 to 450 feet.
So going back to throwing now, I know, like I said, I know a little bit about golf. So is there out of bounds and hazards when you're playing? Like, say I throw my first one and it's, what do you do if it goes out? Is there an out of
Yeah,
bounds in disc golf?
so there's out of bounds in disc golf. It doesn't play like regular golf. It plays like a hazard. Well, actually, regular golf, they updated the rules. I don't think they use the word hazard anymore. It's a penalty area. Um,
Oh,
they
okay.
simplified the rules 2 years ago. I don't know if I told you about that, but
Oh, I
yeah,
haven't. I'm
they
not up
they
on the golf
simplified the
course.
rules. They made a lot of really good decisions to simplify things. There's no longer like two different types of hazards. There's just the one type. Uh, you can putt with the flag stick in. That was the big
Oh,
controversial
that
rule
was the one. I
change.
did
Yeah.
notice that.
And a few other things. You don't drop from shoulder width anymore. You drop from knee height. Um,
Oh, okay.
bunch of random
So,
basic golf stuff. Anyways, disc golf's even simpler. If you go out of bounds, which is typically marked with like a cord or white or stakes, or it's, I don't know, or it just says it on the hole, and it's like this grass is out of bounds, or this river is out of bounds, or this. Sometimes
okay.
even like walking paths are out of bounds. You figure out where it entered out of bounds, and then you throw from that spot basically. Technically, you get 1 meter away from it. Uh, Away from the out of bounds line, so you can safely plant your feet in bounds. And actually, I, there's a rule that you can never be standing out of bounds when you throw. So if you land the disc close to out of bounds, but not actually in out of bounds, you still get that meter of relief. You still get to move it 3 feet ish away from the out of bounds line, so that you're not standing out of bounds when you throw.
Okay,
So
so it goes out of bounds, and I'm going to go back. Do I go back 3 feet from
figure out
where it
where it
entered,
went out, and you get
or
three
3 feet?
feet. I think perpendicular to the out of bounds. I think.
So it actually puts you a little closer than in real golf. You have to
And
go
there's
back.
no rule about not being closer to the hole. So in regular golf, you can never drop closer to the hole. In disc golf, there's nothing like that. You can go closer to the hole. You just figure out where it went out of bounds, and you take it from there.
So I mean,
Occasionally, oh, go ahead.
so I mean, it goes out of bounds. You can't move it 3 feet. See, I'm using feet. You're going to use meters, confuse everybody. 3 feet toward the hole, or can you? You have to
I
go.
think you get relief perpendicular to that out of bounds line.
Okay. Now,
So
what do you do?
closer
I
or
didn't.
further from the hole doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. It's just 3 feet away from the out of bounds line.
Okay. Okay, going back, this is probably more advanced.
Well, and let me explain. There's also occasionally, I've not seen it on any of the courses I played, but I've seen it on a couple of pro tournaments. They'll have hazards where you get the penalty shot, but you just throw it from where it is. Typically, they do that if you're playing a disc golf course on a regular golf course, and they'll make the sand traps hazard or the greens hazards.
So you can throw from the
You
sand
don't
trap, but you
move the
take a
disc. You
penalty
take
shot.
the penalty shot, but you just throw it from that lie.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the
I
only
see.
other penalty thing that I've seen in disc golf. But you probably won't experience that. It'll probably only be out of bounds, which is
And I'm
just
assuming disc golf. I mean, if you're a beginner, you're gonna have people out there. You can ask them questions like, "Hey, like say I
oh
sign up
yeah,
for
disc
some,
golf people are typically pretty friendly. So
like, hey, this is a hazard and I can move it." Okay.
yeah.
another question. I don't know why I'm going off on this like I'm playing a tournament, but so when you throw your first disc and then you want to use that same disc, do you somehow mark where it landed, or what do you, or
Yes.
you just
So
visually know where it landed?
you can use what are called minis. I think I have one somewhere back here that I
You
got.
didn't buy you didn't buy me a mini, so I just use one of my other
Well,
discs
I mean,
basically.
I don't really
I
use a
know, I'm
mini if I'm
teasing.
just playing. You just figure out where your foot should go.
But I
So
mean,
this
okay,
is like a
say
huge mini. I got this at a tournament. They're typically smaller. I don't know. They're like little
oh,
tiny frisbees. And you
but can you use
just.
another disc just to lay down there so you can pick up the one you want to use?
I am not
Like in a,
sure.
oh, okay,
I
well,
think you might have to use a mini.
I'll have to buy me a mini.
You might want to
then.
look
Buy
up the
me
rules.
one.
I'm not gonna go either way. On
Okay.
that, I don't know. You can buy minis for like $2 somewhere. There's little tiny frisbees. You place it on the line, so in front of your disc, like touching the disc, but in front of it on the direction towards the basket, and then
So put it where in front? No, okay. My
yeah.
disc
So
is
if
on
your
the
disc
ground.
is here and the basket's just ahead, you place it like right here. Move the disc away, and now you have this marker.
And I don't go past. I don't step past that marker.
So the rule for stepping is that there's, I don't remember the exact dimensions, but it's roughly the size of a sheet of paper, a regular sheet of paper, just kind of directly behind your mark, either your disc or your mini. Your foot has to land in that spot when you release.
So you have to land close to the mini, but not in front of the
You
mini.
can't touch it, can't go in front of it, or too far to the side, or too far behind. So just think of like a plain sheet of paper just sitting right behind the disc or the mini. That's where your foot's got to land.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I did go buy me some fun things because it's a new sport.
Yeah. You've already embraced the disc golf lifestyle of buying too many disc golf things. There were lots of.
Not buy. I bought what
no,
I
you
needed.
didn't go over. There were lots of on the disc golf subreddit. There were lots of posts about the stimulus check resulting in many disc sales.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Anyway, so I bought a basket.
Cool.
I bought a carrier for my disc. I got the sling. I think it's like yours, kind of the sling.
Yeah, you got the same one I did. Yeah, the infinite disc slinger or whatever it's, the one shoulder.
Yeah, so I bought that, and then I bought what else? I did buy a cheap disc retrieval. I guess if you get it in the water, it was like $20. It wasn't one of the expensive ones.
Okay, a little stick thing. Yeah.
It's like when I don't know. I have to practice using it, not in the water, but just on the ground. It's like it snags it somehow. Anyway, I bought that. I bought the bag. What else did I buy? I thought I bought one more thing.
I think you said you bought a towel, right?
Oh, I bought towels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you said it would keep your discs clean, so I bought myself some towels, and I also bought a friend of mine, who you know very well, your mother-in-law.
Yes.
I bought Laura, and if she's gonna watch this before my package comes, I'm gonna surprise her. I bought her a starter set that you told me to get, a beginner set, and I bought her a bag, and I'll share my towels with her. So yeah, so her and I are gonna take up our new sport of disc golf together, so we can walk and visit and try to learn disc golf.
That's fun.
We'll see.
Awesome. You've already dove in.
So
now all you need is a mini to look official.
Okay, I'll have to find one.
No, you don't. No one uses a mini when they're just playing casually.
Anyway, okay, so I'm practicing my throwing.
Cool.
And okay, for putting, I know you stand. Well, I did watch one video. It's like, it was weird. He stood, and then he was standing facing the basket, opposite of when you do that. Okay.
Right.
And then his feet were the same, and then he kind of like did it from like right from his gut, like just straight, like that.
Yeah.
It looked like he had two hands on it, but I don't think he did. But
I don't know. Maybe they hold it to stabilize. You wouldn't want two hands on release, but yeah. So there's two major styles of putting. One is the spin putt, where you kind of release. Let me scoot back here. You release more from the middle, and you just kind of spin it out there. And if
you're putting, that means you can't step forward because you're within.
You can't step forward, but
you have to
in any putting situation, you're essentially facing forward at the basket. There's different ways to stand. It's like regular golf. There's a lot more variation in putting It's more personal, figuring out what's comfortable for you.
Because I didn't feel comfortable with my feet. I had to have one foot slightly in front or behind it, standing
Oh,
with
was
them.
he standing feet like shoulder, like side by side?
Yeah, and that didn't feel
Oh, I
comfortable to
hate
me.
that too. Yeah. No, I stand one foot in front of the other. Well, not directly in front, but a little, facing roughly the basket. So there's two basic ideas. There's the spin putt where you kind of release it straight from like the middle of your body, like that. Then there's what's called the
Okay.
push putt where you keep kind of a straighter arm and then you go down and up. And the idea is that you're not having as much arm bendiness, so you reduce the amount of things that can go wrong. So you kind of bend down and you push it up. So um, if you watch someone like Kevin Jones, he's a pro. He does a very strong push putt. If you watch Nate Sexton, he has a very much a spin putt.
But you
But
have to maintain your
most
balance.
people, yeah, you do. Most people do somewhere in the middle of those two things, and that's what I do.
Okay.
So I bring my disc down roughly to like my hip bone, and then go out. So it's a little bit down and up. It's a little bit spin. But the idea is that everything should be your weight. I do a weight shift back and forth. Your arm, your release, everything should just be straight at the basket, so you reduce variables. That's kind of the principles at play.
Okay.
You've seen now the two stances, so one kind of 1 foot in front of the other, facing the basket, or the straddle stance where you're like not shoulder width, but even further than shoulder width apart. Feet are lined up, and then you're just head on. Sometimes you have to do that. Like if you have a tree in front of you, you got to kind of stretch out and putt that way. I would say some people always do that, but I don't find it particularly comfortable. I don't know. Figure out what I did is I just watched a bunch of pro tournaments and watched how they were putting, and then got ideas from that and tried to emulate a couple different pros, and then kind of figured it out that way. But the principle is that you do want a weight shift towards your target, not enough that you step forward, but you do want, I rock back on my back foot and then a little bit forward. And you just want to be very straight. Ideally, the tip that I always hear is that you should finish with like your hand shaking the basket. You just release and it's all straight.
And it's all rocking. You're not taking any steps, like even from the back.
Do not take any steps within the circle. Correct. Yep. Oops. Bumped my desk.
Okay.
So yeah.
So now, if I want to find a course, how do I find? I mean, I know I can go on the internet, and I do know that I've got courses within 30 miles of me. I've got one in Modesto, one in Merced. The one in Livingston I haven't checked out because they say it's horrible. I probably want to go look at it. So, but say I'm going on vacation somewhere and I want to find a course. Where do I look to find a course?
So, I mean, you just go to like Google Maps, but the best source I found is UDisc. It's an app or a website, and they have a big database of courses. People have rated them, so you can see which ones are good. They'll leave comments. A lot of them are mapped, so you can actually go in, start a scorecard on UDisc and click on the map, and it'll show you where to like define the first hole, which has saved me a couple times because I'm like, where in this weird forest is the first hole? I can't find it, and I look on the map. I'm like, oh, it's 300 feet that way.
And that's what UDisc?
UDisc, like, UDISC.
Like Y-O-U or U?
No, just the letter U.
UDisc. Okay, disc. And that's an app for the phone.
It's an app, or you do it on the website. They also do a lot of the pro tournament scoring. So if you go to UDisc Live, you can follow along on who's winning the tournaments. You have to find somewhere else to watch them, but it's a scoring app. It does a bunch of things. And if you get the premium version, which I have, does even more stuff. It's good.
Okay. So so my homework is going to be practicing throwing my disc, and hopefully my basket comes so I can challenge you to perfect putts.
Practice your putting. Practice. I mean, I'm not giving you homework. I mean, that's you make it sound like I'm telling you what to do. This is all you.
No. Well, I have to set goals for myself. So my goal will be yeah, to do that. And then yeah, so anyway. Okay, so next time maybe I'll show you my little park area and
Yeah,
try to video my throwing.
that'll be
Not that I
fun.
want people to see my whole body on video, but I guess that's what I'll have to do. I'll
Oh,
have to
that's
get
fine.
comfortable with myself.
There you go.
I know.
Awesome.
A new venture for my retirement. There we go.
It's exciting. Then some
I
days
know.
we'll watch you on the pro tournaments.
The pro, is there a senior league for old people like me?
Yeah, they do. It depends on the size of the tournament. So most tournaments will have at least one like 40-year-old or more division, but technically you can have like a 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, 70
Cool.
plus. For like the huge tournaments, they'll have enough people to fill up at least some competition in each of those divisions. But
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
they're
good.
called the Masters. I think the Masters is the 40. I don't know. There's different names for it, but
Okay.
just the sport's getting more popular, so there'll be more people of every age attending tournaments and such. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I will get back to you when I practice throwing.
Awesome. Thanks for watching,
Okay.
everybody. Uh, don't forget to subscribe, to like it, leave a comment if you have any questions, or if I said something horribly wrong. Again, I'm still kind of a beginner, but yeah, just let me know. And don't forget to subscribe. And I guess next time we do this, we'll have a view of the practice yard and the putting range.
Okay, we'll see. Out at the ranch.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.